Chapter 12, Conservatory. I was right. It was the longest half hour of my life because George was busy being jittery the whole time and running around. I tried to run after him as he was running in loops around the building, but after 5 minutes I had to ask Sam to go running after him, and he did, and George's motor gave out before Sam's did, so we rested on the benches in front of Garfield Park Conservatory, which is why that this half hour took so long, because sitting there doing nothing is not a less fun than running after someone. At 9 in the morning sharp, somebody came and unlocked the door, and we were free to enter Garfield Park Conservatory, and we were told admission was free, so we went to the restrooms in the entrance room, then we went into the poem house. I don't quite see, I was saying before George got my attention. George apparently had the energy he lost back. He then took off running to look at the ceiling fans. Apparently he spotted at least one of them over one we saw from the outside before I saw them from the inside. "No running inside, George," I yelled. Apparently George didn't bother to listen to me. "Don't bother going after him. If he gets hurt, that's his problem." "I hope he stayed in this room," I said. "Did you notice the doors on either side of the room, or on the other side of the room, or open?" "No." "Neither did I." Neither did I. What's your point?" Then he is still in this room, or the firm room, without a door connecting it to the other side." "Ooh, I see. Let's explore this room to try and find George, and we will take our time doing so." The poem house was this huge room that loops around. It was this huge room with a path that loops around it, and a stone path to cut through. It had 4 ceiling fans. To what I knew would be for George's amusement, and they were all off. There was also a lot of plants in this room, especially palm trees. Apparently this place is like an indoor garden. Do not yell in this room. It will echo in this room and irritate people," said Sam when we got walking down the loop path. "I wasn't going to," I said as we were walking. "Have you heard his footsteps?" No, I am actually trying to talk quietly right now to try and see if I can hear his footsteps. I can't hear them either. We then passed the doorless firm room on the other side of the poem house. Here's the deal. If we don't see him by the time we pass the firm room again, the third time that we walk this loop, we will go in here, I said to Sam as a plan. "Roger that," said Sam. Also, if we come across the shortcuts, one of us has to take one and the other has to take the long way, and whoever takes the shortcut has to wait for the other at the end of the shortcut on the main loop. I saw one on the side of the room close to the L station. Does that mean you want to take the shortcut? No, but I can. Fine, you can take it. We stuck with the plan, except there was only one shortcut, so the first time Sam went through it, second me, third we both did. "Nothing," said Sam, when we passed the third room the third time. "Let's go in," I said. We then went into the third room, and all we saw was there was this loop, or at least 2 paths heading away from where we entered the room, which is why I think it is a loop. "We have been looping the poem house clockwise. Let's go through counterclockwise," I said to Sam. "Okay," said Sam. We then head down the path leaving for the right to the entrance. We walk back about a minute, and then it split into 2. What way should we go? Right or left? I asked Sam. "Split again," Sam recommended. "What side do you want?" "Right." If we do this, then we walk through here twice to double check so we cover both sides. Deal. Also, if we come across more splits, Then we stick to the side we are on until we complete the loop. Sell a deal. We then did just that. There were many joints and splits down the path, and we still saw nothing. However, when it came to the third room itself, it was pretty big, and by the time you get to the other side of it, you couldn't see where you entered it because of all the ferns. There were no ceiling fans in it though, which is why this probably wasn't George's favorite room. By the time we were done with the fern loop, me and Sam were looking at each other with concern. There were no other rooms that this room connects to other than the Poem House. He is somewhere hidden somewhere else, hidden deep in this conservatory, I said, feeling concerned. Let's check the Poem House one more time, I said. We entered the Poem House, looked to our left, nothing, but not when we looked to the right. Hey, look, there he is! As soon as he was spotted, he took off like lightning into the next room to his left. We soon followed and left the Poem House and into the show house. There were no exhibits into the show house, so it was just an empty room with a path going through it, and no ceiling fans either. However, as we got about halfway through the room, we saw a room with about 13 ceiling fans to our right. Same models as the Poem House, but they looked newer, and they were all on. Even if they were on a slower speed, it easily could be George's favorite room, and there was also a fountain and many tables in the room, so we entered. George, I said loud enough to be heard but not yelling. Nothing. Let's head to the room behind this room, because he has tricked us before. Sam winked at me. We then went to the back of this fountain room, and it was really a photography room with photos in it. However, George was in it, and he knew we had to corner in. Come here now, I said firmly. The next 3 seconds were a bit of a fuzz to me, because all I heard was George go, "Yeah!" And then I felt a short pain in my crotch, and then I was scrunched to the ground. Where is George? I asked Sam, grunting, as I was trying to recuperate from getting hit in the groin. I didn't see because I want to make sure you're okay, because I didn't get hurt. Go to that garden outside the room. I'll meet you out there. How long will you be? Oh, I'm going to get up now. It's just going to take me a few minutes because of the pain. It was about 2 minutes before I felt comfortable walking outside to the garden straight. Where have you been? Where have you been already? I asked him. Everywhere. It's not that big. Can you double check out here? Sam asked. Yes, I then explored the outdoor garden, and George was not hiding in there, as Sam was. Let's head back to the show house, I said, and make a right. After we left the fountain room and the show house, we entered the bonsai room. 4 ceiling fans, one in each corner, same models as the ones we had already seen today, and about as old as they were in the Poem House. 2 on, 2 off. There was also glass art by Dale Trehuley in the room, along with a pond with koi fish in it, and a bench that overlooks the pond, and the room just had one distinct path in it and bonsai trees. The one distinct path is why I don't think we found George despite the status of the ceiling fans in it. I like this room. Can we spend some time in here? Sam asked. You can, but you forgot to say something at the end, I said. Please. After we find George. I'm sure he's hiding in the conservatory somewhere, because he knows what he is good for, and not to leave the property without us, but that's just what I meant to say at the end. I know he was. When we left the room, we entered the desert room, which was a room that was straight and had a straight path in it like the show house, and there were no ceiling fans, and it was hotter and full of cacti. We then were about halfway through, and there was an open set of doors on our right, which led to another entryway, but a lot smaller, and there were restrooms, but no information desks. But there was another set of doors in it that were open, that led out in the park of the conservatory. We went outside and checked the vicinity of the area just outside those doors, but he still wasn't there. That was when a horrible thought crossed me and Sam's minds, and our hearts began beating irregularly. Do you think he betrayed us? I asked. Let's go inside and figure it out. We then re-entered the desert room, and we could see ceiling fans there running, but we couldn't tell how old they were in the next room. And the fact the next room was the children's garden. If he is not in this next room, because I have a feeling the next room is going to be paradise for him, I will turn myself into Mom, I said to Sam. But then she will discipline us worse, Sam said. I cringed at Sam as we were walking through the door and in. When we entered, we did find George. He was on the ground crying. What happened? I asked George. George then pulled up his cloak a bit. Blood was gushing out of his leg. I fell, said George. We were the only people in this room, so I felt comfortable doing this right here, right now. Okay, you know what? I can perform this, I said. Do you mean fix? George asked. Yes, the word perform was just stuck in my head, I said. I picked up the first aid kit in my backpack, so I unzipped my backpack and got out. Here we go, I said. I then unzipped the first aid kit, got another look at the wound. Maybe gushing was the wrong word, but it was bleeding pretty badly. This is going to sting a bit. I warned George. I then used a wipe to wipe off the blood. George grunted, but he was doing okay. Hang in there, I said. I then found the last Band-Aid in the kit, and then put ointment on it. Get ready for one more sting, I said. I put the Band-Aid on, and he grunted, and that was that. All done. George then stood up again, and his tears stopped. I was about to say something vicious to him for running off, but after what I just did, I didn't feel like it. So I said to him instead, you stick by me now, no matter what, and no running. Fine, but can we stay here for a while? George asked. If we look at the rest of the conservatory first, I said. Fine, said George. I'll come too, but then I want to go chill off in the bonsai garden, said Sam. Can you do that yourself? I feel like I need to keep a close eye on George, I said. Yes, when the time comes.